It's a beautiful day outside, which means I can only do one thing. Sit here and watch some quality entertainment. Have you ever wanted to throw a ball? It's my lifelong goal. Have you ever wanted to visit Rodent Row? That's my dream vacation. Well, now you can with Carnival Games, a totally one-of-a-kind game based on, you guessed it, Carnival Games. I thought it was going to be based on the economy. There are over 25 wacky Carnival games in just one game. You can't beat that deal. I found bread on clearance. Now stop for a moment just to watch this incredible gameplay. I think I'm starting to lose interest. And you can even look like a crackhead shaking a stick while doing it. I'm sold! The Wii is one of the best-selling video game consoles of all time, and part of the reason for that was the versatility of the Wii remote. It was extremely appealing to casual consumers who thought that the idea of motion controls was on par with the Holy Bible. Nobody wants to be a sap in the corner of the room using whatever this is. They just want to swing their remote and end the story there. And the pack and title for the system really hit home just how critical the motion controls were to the enjoyment and simplicity of the Wii. In Wii Sports, you don't have to be knowledgeable on the whereabouts of the L button. You can just swing the remote like a tennis racket, swing the remote like a golf club, swing the remote like a mugger. Wii Sports did a great job at showing people that this controller had a lot of merit behind it. But this was only a good example of how the Wii remote was doing the whole existence thing. What if a third-party developer tried to replicate the good and simple fun that Wii Sports offered? Humanity is done for. While Nintendo's showings of the Wii Remote's capabilities were really fun at their best and demonic at their worst, other companies wouldn't stop not being good. There are hundreds of these poorly made games running rampant on the platform, tricking more casual consumers who like Wii Sports into buying a god-awful game. This is the only reason these games sold past 11 copies. More casual consumers can't tell the difference between Wii Ski and Wii Sports Resort. They just think that these are games, like Wii Sports, so they have to be fun, and then proceed to play the game and realize that mistakes have been made. But one of the most popular games like this was Carnival Games. I should know, I've had this game for more than a decade. This game sold more than 4 million copies, which is absolutely insane. It just goes to show that the Wii wasn't just a craze, it was a phenomenon. But I haven't played this game since I got it way back when, so I'm about to change that because the disc is in my hand, which is right next to the Wii. Let's see what Carnival Games is all about. I can't get off that easy, can I? You know, this is doing a really good job so far. I really feel like I'm having a subpar experience. Then we get an incredible sequence of ducks being shot and a company logo. That's definitely one way to get the player's attention. You gotta scare them into playing your really bad game. I don't want to play this. I'll do anything. Just let me keep my life.
Hurry, hurry, hurry. Step right up and welcome to Carnival Games.
It's the only reason I decided to come.
Test your skill and win a prize or compete with a friend to see who's the best.
Hey Mike, want to go head to head in a competition to see who's the best? He left 3 hours before I started that sentence.
Tons of fun and excitement await all who enter.
I hope so. That would do numbers to my credit score.
So step right up and let's get the show on the road.
After we enter the carnival, it seems like we're gonna have to make our own avatar. Well, because I saw a woman at a carnival one time, I think this might be the most common choice. Then I have to name her whatever I want. That should do the trick.
Change your shirt, change your pants, change your look.
I eventually went for the look of an adventurer, because now I can go through the dangerous landscapes of Lucky Pass and even Love Lane, the scariest out of all of them. But the obvious choice to go with is Rodent Row. I don't want to be seen sticking it to the Man and Claw alley. In that case, the first game I get to go for is Shooting Gallery, which promises the best duck murdering experience possible. One step inside, and it turns out that these aren't even real ducks. The immersion is crumbling, and this is only the first minigame. As for the minigame itself, you point the Wii remote, and you shoot. It isn't the in-depth duck shooting experience I had hoped for. Things got so boring to the point where I shot a box and hallucinated that I got some elephant feet. As my first foray into the world of Carnival games since a decade ago, this isn't really grabbing me. But maybe Pigskin Pass will change a few things. It didn't. My lack of enjoyment here all boiled down to the controls. I have to both aim at the screen while making a swinging motion. In the grand scheme of things in Carnival games, Pigskin Pass is a poor man's Buckets of Fun. Speaking of which, Buckets of Fun! It isn't the best experience I had, but the moment I made the ball into that bucket, it felt like the pinnacle of my existence as a living thing. But every other time I threw the ball, I either overshot it or undershot it. Talk about a disappointment. Maybe Shoot for the Stars won't be so bad. I know how to shoot and I know my shapes. This should be a match made in heaven. But in reality, I just got a hearty dose of being underwhelmed. All you do is shoot for the stars, and while it is what I came for, I was expecting more excitement and fun. All I really did was attempt to stand still as the star was having holes inserted all over itself. But all of this pales in comparison to the greatest minigame of them all. Going nuts. This game is all about rotating the Wii remote and trying to get the nuts in the basket, which sounds simple enough. I absolutely conquered in this minigame. I got 4 nuts in the basket, and I haven't been proud of myself this much since Buckets of Fun. And I am now so proud of myself that I think I'm too good for Road and Row. A guy like myself at least deserves a place like Fortune Way. And despite my superiors never believing in me, I'm going right ahead and playing alley ball. Every single minigame in Road and Row was leading up to this moment. Can I make it? This is the most alive I've felt since I was born. Dare I say, it might be just as good as Buckets of Fun, which I did not think was possible. And now I'm going to celebrate my most recent wins by asking a question to the great Swami. Now I'll only get to do this once in a blue moon, so I'd better use my question wisely.
Hold the Wii remote to your head and ask me a simple yes or no question.
Am I pregnant?
No, what is going on in there? Yes, starting to become clear.
At least I can be prepared for it now. At this point in the Carnival Games experience, I think I should take a look back on it all and rate how good of a Carnival Games experience this was. This game is obviously aiming towards the same market that Wii Sports captured, but it didn't have anything about it that made itself nearly as good as that game. Every single game in Wii Sports has quite a bit of depth and are the definition of replayable. The minigames in Carnival Games are just that. Minigames. I can only find myself playing each one of them once or twice, and none of them have that same attention or care that can be found in Wii Sports. Now, this isn't the worst game in the world that goes for this style, but is being better than Family Party 30 Great Games Obstacle Arcade really something to be proud of? But it doesn't matter that the quality of the game wasn't that great. It is exactly what families wanted. A simple pick-up and play experience that even Uncle Jerry could enjoy. But most of the people who bought this game only played it once and then proceeded to let it rot in the entertainment center for the next decade. And because of this game's success, it got several sequels, with some being the absolute bottom of the barrel in terms of what a Wii game in this format could be. And looking at how Nintendo improved on Wii Sports with Wii Sports Resort a few years later, it became clear that Nintendo was the only one showing the true capabilities of the Wii remote. Wii Sports Resort is one of my favorite games on the Wii, so it isn't that I don't like these kinds of games. They have their merits in a few places, but it is more obvious than ever with Carnival Games that other developers do not know how to do these types of games justice. But for all I know, M&M Beach Party could be a masterpiece. Overall, Carnival Games is a very mediocre turnout of a Wii game that promises a Wii Sports-like experience, and is not a game I see myself returning to. And on top of all of that, because of the great Swami, now I have to schedule an appointment to the abortion clinic.